A little over a year ago, when I started playing World of Warcraft for the first time ever, not using any guides or questy because I wanted to have the true vanilla WoW experience, everyone told me about how incredible the new player experience is and how amazing it feels starting a new character. They were all hyped and nostalgic about the earlier zones, Elwyn Forest, Dunmarrogue, Durotar, Shadow Glen, you know what they are. Well, they're definitely not wrong about those things, but what most people don't tell you is that the late game leveling holds some of the best content in the entire game. Okay, maybe some people do tell you that, but no, seriously, it's where the world of Azeroth really starts to open up. There's just so much to do. The quests, the zones, the community, and of course, the dungeons. It's not just about XP anymore, you actually start chasing some of that higher tier gear, which is really fun and exciting. In my opinion, this is peak classic WoW. Last time on this crazy wild adventure, I explored through all of Teneris, helped a poor desperate turtle reunite with his cranky starving wife, experienced the Zul'Farrak dungeon for the first time, and left off with reaching level 50 while helping some poor chap who got stuck in an outhouse without having anything to help him wipe. In this video, you'll get to see me level through multiple different late game zones, explore the Elven lands for the very first time, complete some really fun and creative quest lines along the way, encounter the scariest creature in all of Azeroth, and last but not least, experience the greatest MMO dungeon of all time. Of course, I'll be highlighting some of the rare loot that I get along the way, and did someone mention death rolling? So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so we left off with me hitting level 50 while helping out that random guy who was taking a crap in the outdoor squat shack. However, before we go any further, I have to talk to you guys about this new zone, at least new for me, the Searing Gorge. It's where this story begins and actually where it will end as well. So yeah, it's important. This place is hot. It's very hot. There's a lot of lava and scorched rocks and metal machinery and stuff like that. And the sky is this smoky orange blood red color. It's kind of like dwarven industrialization meets hell on earth. Yeah, it's not where I'd take the family for a summer vacation, I'll tell you that much. But no, overall, it's a pretty cool zone. Very unique. I don't think I've seen anything else quite like it so far. It fits that dwarven fiery forge theme, and the more that you explore, the better it actually gets. You see, as you find Thorium Point, kind of the little hub spot for the region, and you pick up a bunch of the quests, it'll lead you down some mechanical elevators and into this underground cave area called the Slag Pit, where you get to kill a very, very special mob type that is exceedingly bountiful down here. Slaves. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the slave population in Classic WoW is astronomical. And it's not enough that these poor wretched souls are being held captive and forced to grind their lives away in these torturous work conditions. Now they also have to worry about me, an old balding mage harassing them as they do it. Terrible, I know. But at the same time, if you think about it, I'm sort of putting them out of their misery in a way, so some might call it an act of mercy, just kind of a matter of perspective. And I get a lot of XP from farming them, so yeah, I'm not gonna stop. But anyway, we got a lot going on, so I'll try to sum it up as best I can. I meet this really cool looking dwarf guy named Hansel Heavy Hands. He just looks freaking awesome. Kind of want to be him when I grow up. I get another visit from my stream streaking friend, Krixana, a quest called Forging the Shaft? ? I end up facing my toughest opponent yet. No, not Trademaster Kovich, his pet mechanical bird named Clunk. Actually, those things gave me a run for my money. Also, I had to kill a bunch of these fire dinosaurs in the slag pit for the quest called Incendosaurs, whatever a saur is more like it, which I thought was kind of funny because I'm a child. And last but not least, I group up with some friends to take down a named boss called Overseer Maltorius. And yes, I did chop off his head. Just one more addition to my ever-expanding decapitation portfolio. So all in all, I enjoyed the Searing Gorge. It's not my favorite zone in the game, especially since there weren't really any long, memorable quest chains or stories, at least not that I could find, but it's still a pretty cool zone nonetheless. And we're not totally done with it yet. The best is still yet to come. Oh, and I managed to hit level 51 before moving on to my next destination. Be sure to grab some vitamin C and a bottle of NyQuil because we are headed to the Western Plaguelands, where sickness and disease are running rampant. But seriously though, every single mob type here is plagued or a zombie or undead or something along those lines. Even the fog is this sickly yellowish color, kind of looks like puke. It's the kind of place where after you leave, you just want to go home and decontaminate yourself with a shower or bubble bath, because you just feel gross, you know what I mean? But anyways, the rally point here is called Chillwind Camp, and the first NPC I run into is named Commander Ashlam Valorfist, who after welcoming me to the front lines explains that we're here on behalf of the Kingdom of Stormwind to counter the threat of the growing Scourge, an army of undead that wishes to extinguish all life and turn Azeroth into a rotting wasteland, because apparently they're into that sort of thing. And I'm actually able to turn in this quest, a call to arms the Plaguelands, which I picked up at some point. I think it was from a dwarf in Ironforge, if I remember right. But yeah, the commander is basically just happy that I'm here, warns me of these dangerous frontiers, and tells me that there are plenty of opportunities for me to get my hands dirty. Wonderful. And the first quest he has for me is called Clear the Way. There's this city that the commander wants to invade called Anderhall, but it's well fortified, except for the Eastern Road, which relies on a place called Sorrow Hill to act as a first line of defense. Do I pay attention to those instructions? Not at all. My job is to take down some of the skeletal mobs to help clear the way and prepare for an attack on the city. And then I'm introduced to the Argent Dawn, a worldwide organization that doesn't care if you're Alliance or Horde, just as long as you like killing zombies. And I wish I had better understood what this actually was. Officer Pureheart hands me something called an Argent Dawn Commission. With this, you'll start racking up markers of heroism as you kill Scourge mobs and quests through the Plaguelands that you can eventually turn in for later rewards, which sounds great, but I forgot to put it on. So unfortunately, I don't actually benefit from any of that until much later on. In fact, I really didn't dive much into the Argent Dawn stuff at all, which now I'm kind of bummed that I didn't. But anyways, then this Nathaniel Duma guy tries to sucker me into gathering 100 termites for him. 100 termites. You know how long it takes to gather stuff in this game? I feel like that would take forever. You know what? I don't want to offend the guy though, so I'll pull the old accept the quest with no intention to complete it trick. Yeah, I'll go get those termites for you, buddy. Absolutely. All right, now where the heck am I going? I gotta go find some skeletal flares and slavering ghouls. What is this place? The Ruins of Anderhall. Okay, it's some sort of undead ghost town, and oh gosh, that's a level 56. All right, I think I wandered into the wrong part of town here. Wow, that is a lot of mobs. Holy, yep. All right, time to leave. Luckily, I end up finding some skeletal flares and ghouls at this place called Fellstone Field. It's definitely not where I was supposed to go. I was supposed to be looking for Sorrow Hill, but we're level 50 and we're already here, so it works. All right, there we go. 20 out of 20 mobs killed. Let's head back to the camp to turn in the quest, and I died. Trying to run through the Ruins of Anderhall. Nice. You guys want to know what's really fun about this spot? If you die here, as soon as you resurrect, there's just so many mobs around that you just instantly die again. It's great. I love it. Anyways, I'm able to turn and clear the way, and the commander then offers me a follow-up quest. But I tell him it'll have to wait because I have something very important that I have to do first. Time to kill some more of these slaves in the slag pits. No, just kidding. It's time for another dungeon. This time we're running through Maraudon. And yes, it is my first time, so we'll see how this goes. I'm accompanied by, looks like another mage, a druid, a tank, and a warlock. Perfect. Now, I looked up rare mage items for this one, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I didn't see anything particularly impressive. There's a few items with nature resistance, but apart from very specific scenarios, I don't know when I would actually be using that. So I guess we'll just roll the dice, see if I get anything good. So here we go. Looks like the first enemy mob type are these hairy half goat, half man creatures. also known as Mr. Tumnuses. Oh, and we've also got another relative to the Ents from Lord of the Rings, the Deep Rot Stompers. Now these guys, they actually did get some short cameos in the films. If you look closely, they were mostly used as stunt doubles for some of the more dangerous action scenes, like getting set on fire. But anyways, so basically, Maraudon is this corrupted nature dungeon. It starts off very mild, almost ethereal, but then you slowly descend into these larger areas with poison swamps and massive caverns with beautiful waterfalls. I mean, just look at this. I would have never guessed this was down here. And then you get to the best parts with dinosaurs and elemental guardians and primordial behemoths, however you say that, and more three-headed hydras. It honestly feels like the dungeon evolves the further down you go. Needless to say, it's awesome, and I am really enjoying it. Oh, also, I hit level 52, so that's great. And last but not least, we fight this big, beautiful, four-armed, three-headed rock princess named Thoradris. And let's just say, her milkshakes bring all the behemoths to the yard, if you know what I mean. And she actually does drop a really nice mage item called the Eye of Thoradris. Not really sure why, but for some reason, I decided to greed instead of need. Even though my Dreamweave circlet adds more damage, the plus 13 stamina and plus 10 intellect probably would have been worth it. But yeah, I didn't win the greed roll, so oh well, what can you do? Oh, and then one of the party member mentioned something about a crocodile boss, so we take down this guy named Rock Grip as well. Overall, a very enjoyable first time Maraudon experience. And to think, this is only the second best dungeon that I'll be covering in this video. Yeah, pretty crazy, I know. All right, well, now that I'm level 52, it's time to pay a visit to our good friend Janaea to upgrade some abilities. Rank 4 Blizzard, let's go. Number go up makes me very happy. I do a little bit more tailoring, and you know what kind of sucks? The master tailor decided to set up his shop in the worst zone in the game, the Dust Swallow Marsh. Not only is it the most depressing place in the world, but also the most inconveniently located place in the world. So yeah, that sucks. But anyways, I'm getting pretty close to max level for tailoring. I'm currently able to make mage weave bags, so that's pretty nice. And after I get to level 244, I decide that's enough for now and head back to where we left off, the Western Plaguelands. So I return to Commander Valorfist, apologize for the delay. He tells me, no biggie, it's just the fate of the entire Alliance kingdom that rests upon my shoulder. And then he gives me a couple more quests, all along the watchtowers and the Scourge cauldrons. The first one has the word Anderhall in it, so there's no way I'll be touching that one at the moment. And the second revolving around some cauldrons that are emitting poison into the air and propagating the plague throughout the land. Ah, so that's why it smells like spoiled rotten eggs. I thought maybe that was just me. So he has me talk to High Priestess McDonald, and her plan is to create some sort of counter agent. All she needs is a sample from one of these cauldrons, the first one being at Fellstone Fields. So I make my way to Fellstone Fields and receive a proper welcome from the locals. Well, when life gets you down, there's only one thing to do. Go out and do some AoE farming. Turns out the next farm over, called Dalson's Tears, is a fantastic spot for just that. Not sure who Dalson is or why he was crying, but it doesn't matter. Ah, yes, I'm starting to feel better already. That is, until this random Scarlet Patrol party ambushes me from out of nowhere and decides to kill me. Gosh, I just love this game so much. Okay, but actually, I do have some good news. Someone tipped me off about this talent tree skill called Arcane Concentration, and oh my gosh. It is life-changing. Anytime you cast a spell, you have a 10% chance to get your next spell for free. For free. So I could potentially get my Blizzard cast, which is like over 1,000 mana at this point, for 0 mana. That is insane. So happy I found out about that, because it's going to make a huge difference in my gameplay going forward. And with that, I reached level 53. I know. I basically just power farmed the entire level, but don't worry, we're about to switch things up and explore a brand new zone. And not just any new zone. We're going to see the elves.
We're going to see the elves.
And it's actually one of my favorites, to be honest, aesthetically at least. Much better than the Western Plaguelands, that's for sure. And who is it that leads me in the direction of this new zone? None other than the legendary, world-renowned, all-powerful Mr. Dink. That's right, Mr. Dink, the Ironforge mage trainer. He has a quest for me called Magecraft, and you guys know how much I enjoy the class-dedicated quest chains, so of course I'm going to do it. Apparently, an Archmage Xylem has been asking around for someone of my expertise. Mr. Dink says he can be found in the region of Azshara. So after taking a quick look at the map, oh boy, looks like I'm going to have to do a bit of traveling for this one. I'm told the best route to get there is by taking a ship from Menethil Harbor, so here we go. I hop aboard the ship, make my way to a place called Dark Shore, unlock the flight path, and go in the completely wrong direction. I just thought based on the map I could head north and I'd reach my destination, but nope, there's a giant mountain range blocking players from going that way. Does that stop me from wasting time jumping over the hills trying to find a shortcut? Absolutely not. But eventually Nelson gets fed up with my idiocy and decides to take matters into his own hands. So begins the long trek through the mystical elven lands. It honestly doesn't take that long, but it just so happens that I run into a gnome named Lil Glue that's headed in a similar direction, so I decide to tag along and follow her until eventually we go our separate ways. Not too much further down the road, I reach my destination, the region of Azshara, and right away, guys, I fall in love with it. Any biome that resembles the fall or autumn weather in a video game instantly earns brownie points in my book. It's my favorite season of the year, and if you've never had the privilege of experiencing it in real life, you are missing out. And the cool thing about Azshara is that it really does capture what it's all about. A beautiful display of red, yellow, and orange leaves on all the trees, a cool 50 degrees Fahrenheit with the sun shining and a light breeze. Perfect sweater weather. Telling you guys, it just doesn't get any better than this. But enough of my embellishment, let's go find Archmage Xylem. So I searched for his assistant, Saneth Limyo. Mr. Dink was right. He's not the kindest fellow I've come across. He teleports me to the top of the cliffs where I find the secret hidden tower, make my way to the top, get distracted by this elf named Joy Arnereth. Just think, even in 2004, devs were still using the magical powers of jiggle physics. Wait, where was I? Oh, that's right. I finally find the man I'm looking for and introduce myself to Archmage Xylem. I'm hoping he's gonna have a really sweet, epic quest for me. Oh, he wants me to help him collect some glittering magic dust for him. Not exactly what I had in mind, but all right, I'll do it. Apparently his apprentice had previously tried to trade with the Blood Elves for this magical dust, but he was killed on sight without hesitation. So, looks like we're going elf hunting, boys. I just have to find them first. Aha, here they are. So, I hear you guys like to take advantage of poor mage apprentices that come in peace looking to trade. Well, now you have to deal with me, and I don't deal too kindly with bullies that pick on the weak and innocent. Die now, Blood Elf scum. After I slaughter the entire Blood Elf village a time or two, I finally collect all of the magic glittering dust and return to Archmage Xylem to turn in the quest. I'm kind of curious to know what he wants to use this stuff for. Have you the dust? Yes, I do, good sir. Well done, Zemak. It never ceases to amaze me how persuasive a volley of arcane missiles can be. Well, personally, I actually prefer Frostbolt, but, you know, that's just me. So what was this magic dust for? You're not going to tell me, are you? He then follows up with another quest where he wants me to go out and collect some sort of enchanted coral for him, but honestly, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I thought there was going to be like a story quest or something like that. So with that, I decide to take the community's advice. As beautiful as this zone is, I ditch Azshara and head to a place that I'm told I have to go to since it will be well worth my time, the Ungoro Crater. And I'm actually really looking forward to this. I ran through the zone earlier in my journey, but quickly found out that I was way underleveled. But now it would seem that I'm at a perfect leveling spot. But within this zone resides the most terrifying, the most feared creature in all of Azeroth. Legend has it that it has consumed and devoured the likes of even the greatest World of Warcraft adventurers. Iducky, Anti-Jax, Willy, even Zaryu himself. Only a few lucky souls have laid eyes upon this beast and lived to tell the tale. the Devilsaur. Yes, this monstrosity tramps around the Ungora crater, preying upon any and all unsuspecting victims that stand in its path, always on the prowl, searching for its next meal. But I mean, come on, guys. We all know that I, Z-Mac the Mage, I'm not gonna get caught by that thing. You can see it coming from a mile away. I mean, come on, guys. But anyways, I make my way back to Marshall's Refuge to start the Jurassic Park adventure. Now, I'm not going to cover everything because honestly, there are just so many quests and stuff to do here, which is great. And actually one of the big reasons why I really love this zone. And it actually reminds me a little bit more of some of the earlier level zones. Most of the quest givers are consolidated in one spot, and there's just kind of a natural flow to the region, which I really appreciate. I do, however, want to cover one of my favorite quests. It's called Crystals of Power, and the way that you start this quest is by spelunking in this mysterious cave filled with a bunch of multicolored gems. At the back of the cave, I find a small gnome named J.D. Collie, and this is what she says. You probably weren't expecting to find me in this cave, were you? My name's J.D., and I really can't tell you much about how I got here. But what I can tell you is that this cave is my home now. I spend my time studying the strange crystals that can be found all over the crater. So I ask her more about these crystals of power. I'm sure you've noticed them, Z-Mac. They're everywhere. What am I talking about? Why, the crystals, of course. The crystals. They're all over the crater. Most people ignore them, but I have a strange feeling that they hold power within them. I've been doing experiments here with them for a while, but I can't seem to find anything. Well, I haven't yet anyway. Say, I'm running a little low on the crystals I have here. Think you might be able to collect some more for me? So I agree to go out and collect 7 power crystals of color: red, yellow, blue, and green. I'm very interested to see where this quest leads. As I run about the zone, killing dinosaurs, weeding out evil plant creatures, collecting bones and glands and supplies and all that fun quest item stuff, I simultaneously collect all of the different crystals that JD needs for her research, and once I have enough, I return to her cave to turn them in. She thanks me since she can now continue with her experiments, and then she has 3 separate follow-up quests for me, although they're basically the same thing, just in different locations. She says, during my stay here, I have heard strange rumors about mysterious pylons existing out in the wilderness of the crater, Z-Mac. I guess that they're quite large, with crystals lining their interiors. Although I've never seen one, I can't help but think that the rumors are true, and that these pylons have something to do with all the crystals we found. So why don't you help me put my curiosity to rest? Supposedly, there's one in the eastern area of the crater. You think you can find it? And then she says something very similar for a northern and western pylon as well. So I head out, and amidst some of my other questing, find the 3 different pylons. They're these large circular statues with big old crystals sticking out of them. So I examine them, take notes of everything I find, and then return to JD to tell her all about what I have found. After turning in all of the crystal quests, a final quest pops up called Making Sense of It. The information you have given me about the pylons is very interesting. Give me a moment to do some calculations, Z-Mac. Speak to me again in a moment, and I should be able to give you the answer we have been looking for. So, exactly 1 moment later, we speak to her again, and it would appear that she's cracked the code. Alright, Z-Mac, this is fascinating. I can only hope that my diagrams are correct. I compiled everything into this manual, which you can have. I believe I can answer any questions you have about the crystals now. So, here's what's so interesting and really cool about this quest and why I wanted to cover it for you guys. After you complete it, you now have the ability to collect more of the crystals, combine them at the different pylons, and create a variety of buffs for your character. I don't really know if late game dungeons and raid groups utilize these buffs, but still, I would imagine they could be helpful. And regardless, it's just a really cool concept. Completing a quest that not only gives you an immediate reward, the leveling XP, but helpful tools that give your player an advantage moving forward. I really like that. Now, as to the rest of the Ungora crater, it's a ton of fun. It's great, really. There's just so much to cover and so little time that I'm not going to get to all of it, unfortunately. Although I might circle back and make a dedicated video for the quest chain that pays a tribute to the Zelda franchise, because that one is pretty cool. I haven't quite finished it yet. All right, now I know what you're thinking. Wow, Z-Mac actually managed to quest through the entire Ungora crater zone without getting caught out by the Devilsaur? That's impressive. Well, it would be if that were true. I'll be honest, guys, it got me. I was farming some of these lovely flower creatures and Dimetrodons when out of nowhere, seriously, I still don't know how he snuck up on me, the Devilsaur just comes charging in and one-shots me. I was already pretty low on health and mana, so Yeah, I really had no hope of surviving that one. Well, I guess the Devilsaur wins out again. Just one more adventurer to add to the list of those fallen by his hands, or claws. But let me tell you this, I vow to return one day and take vengeance on this foul beast, to smite him down and restore honor to my name. For too long, he, or she, has laid waste to these lands and its wandering heroes. I will rid Azshara of the Devilsaur's treachery once and for all. But anyways, so after all that, I am now level 54. Let's freaking go. Only 6 more levels to go. Oh, I also trained myself in daggers because I got this cool dagger that increases frost damage, and yeah, I just thought that would be pretty cool to use. But now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the climax, the pinnacle, the creme de la creme of classic WoW, the greatest MMO dungeon of all time, the Blackrock Depths. This dungeon is considered to be the best dungeon in Classic WoW by many, and was verified as the rank 1 dungeon by none other than the legend himself, iDucky. So that means it has to be true. And I, for one, cannot wait to experience for the very first time. I told you guys this video would begin and end in the Searing Forge, so that's where we're headed. I have an idea of where the dungeon is, but it turns out I actually went to the start of the Molten Span instead. Yeah, not quite ready for that one yet. So after jumping off this massive cliff into some hot lava and barely escaping with my life, 19 HP to be exact, we arrive at the Blackrock Depths entrance. And for this special occasion, we're not doing it with just some random Joe Schmoes off the street. No, I have assembled the ultimate crew for this one. We've got the legend Purplefish, who was actually featured in a recent video, He Elizabeth, otherwise known as Duke of Nerd, the greatest healer known to mankind, Doranbane, which is a reference to the Balrog in Lord of the Rings, so we know he's got the tank on lockdown, and Manwë, a rank 9 Knight Champion Hunter, so the damage is going to be pumping. That we know for sure. So anyways, we head inside and start making our way through the dungeon. Now before getting ahead of myself, I want to point out some key mage items that I'll be looking for throughout this run. There's actually a ton because, as we'll get into it, this dungeon is huge, but just to name a few, we've got the robes of the Royal Crown, Boreal Mantle, and the Omnicast boots, which are all a really nice boost to a variation of intellect, spirit, and or stamina, plus some damage output. And then another interesting item is a trinket called the Burst of Knowledge. Not only does it boost damage passively, but it also has an active spell that decreases spell cost by 100 mana for 10 seconds, which is pretty nasty if you ask me. So hopefully we'll see one or even multiple of these items throughout the run. All right, now let's talk about this dungeon, the Blackrock Depths. The name pretty much hits the nail on the head. It's a dungeon in the depths of the earth with a lot of black rocks everywhere. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. No, but seriously, it follows the same theme as the Searing Gorge. It's this absolutely massive dark dwarf stronghold in the heart of the Blackrock Mountains. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it feels like the mines of Moria down here. It truly is like its own underground city. I lucked out and basically had my own personal tour guides that were navigating all the twists and turns for me, but I've been told that it can take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours if you really want to explore everything that this dungeon has to offer. Maybe slightly less than that if you have a more experienced group. It starts off in some sort of prison torture chamber area. There's a lot of these cages and a bunch of captives screaming and moaning in the background. It actually sounds kind of terrible. Oh, they're actually tortured slaves. That's a little bit morbid. But anyways, we get our first rare drop off of someone called the High Interrogator Gerston. And look at that, we're lucky right off the bat. The Kentic Amis, or Amis? I don't know how to say that. A nice little shoulder upgrade. Now, the nice thing about bringing a group of your own friends is that everyone's looking out for each other. So they told me to need on it to make sure I get it. Feels like a little bit of a cheat code, but hey, I'm not complaining. And oh yeah, this was right around the Halloween event, so we had a little bit of fun with some of the costume items. I got turned into a little gnome pirate. Thought I should mention that so people aren't wondering who the little gnome is on the screen. But that brings us to the next named boss, Lord Rakor, and he drops, ooh, the Mantle of Lost Hope. Not really good for me, but looks pretty great if you're a healer. Wait a second, what's going on here? You've been sentenced to death for crimes against the Dark Iron Nation. Boy, that doesn't sound good. I guess we have to fight our way out of this little gladiator arena. All right, I'm thinking this is one of the main bosses, Gorge the Dervish. Nice, light work, light work. All right, what do we got here? The flare thorn, +5 intellect and increased damage done by fire spells. That's pretty cool. I love that mages in Classic WoW can train and equip daggers that are actually geared towards their builds. It's pretty sick. So after the prison area, the dungeon then turns more into a garrison. Whoa. Oh, this is the seating area for the gladiator arena. Didn't even know we had an audience. Apparently, if you attack one of these guys, all of them pull. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted to do it, but thankfully I managed to restrain myself. Which leads us to the next named mob, Pyromancer Loregrain. He drops a really nice fire wand actually. If it was ice, I would totally take it, but yeah, I'm not gonna really use this, so. And now hold on to your bootstraps, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where the dungeon starts to blow my mind. The Shadow Forge City. Just look at this place. It literally is like an entire dwarven city inside the dungeon. It's actually insane. I mean, this is 2025 and I'm impressed. I cannot imagine being a kid in 2004 and seeing this for the first time. I would have absolutely lost my marbles. My little free-to-play RuneScape brain wouldn't have known what to do with myself. But anyways, eventually we reach this place called the Black Vault, where there's a bunch of locked safes with chests inside guarded by giant stone guardians. And it's in the middle of this fight that Purplefish decides to expose me and my DPS numbers, or lack thereof, I should say. So we open everything up and I learned about a very important thing in WoW called ninja looting, which apparently I accidentally committed. When the group told me to open the chest, I just assumed they meant to take whatever was inside. Yeah. Oops. Well, at least I learned the lesson with a group of people that are a little bit more forgiving. I'll be sure to never do that again. And just for the sake of time and so that I don't just keep rambling on and on, here's a few more highlights to wrap it up. The Grim Guzzler, probably one of the most unique dungeon experiences I've ever encountered. I'll be honest, I don't know exactly what all is going on here, but there's some quests and stuff and you're trying to open a door for something, but all these hammered patrons can aggro onto you. Like I said, I don't really know. I'm just here to have a good time. Oh, and I also learned about death rolling. Purplefish teaches me how it works. We set the gamble at 15 gold, so the roll starts at 150, and my first roll is a 3. A freaking 3. Of course, I end up losing that one, but it was fun nonetheless. We do the Summoner's Tomb with a bunch of named enemy bosses, which was pretty epic, and finally, last but not least, we take down Ambassador Flamelash, and guess what, guys? I get the Burst of Knowledge trinket. Let's go. I am so stoked about this one. Definitely going to come in handy moving forward, and a great way to end my first ever experience in the Blackrock Depths. So there you have it, folks. The Blackrock Depths, level 55 is complete, which means only 5 more levels to go. I honestly cannot believe it. I'm so excited and also a little bit sad that our journey will soon be coming to an end, at least the initial leveling portion, but that's all right. To everyone that's still watching, thank you so much. And if you've been watching the journey from the start, thank you for your support. It's been an incredible experience and it wouldn't be the same without you guys. And if you want to hear a little bit about why this video took so long to get out, well, unfortunately, I have had a real life injury. I have a severe lower back disc herniation. I'm out of work. It's difficult for me to sit in a chair for long periods of time, like 5 to 10 minutes really starts to flare up. So a lot of this video, I'm recording my vocals right now. I'm laying down on a mattress, holding the mic in my left hand with the keyboard on my lap. And yeah, it's been a really big challenge for me. I'm trying to view it, more as like a hurdle, keep a positive mindset. But yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take to heal. I actually might be getting surgery for it, which is not ideal, but supposedly, well, actually, truth be told, I've already had one surgery for this issue. It was successful, but then I re-herniated it again, so this would be like another surgery. So yeah, and it kind of sucks, but I'm doing what I can, dealing with it, and I'm just really happy that I finally got this video out to you guys. We got one more episode, so hopefully I'll be able to get that one out. Like I said, don't really know. I don't know if you could hear that. My family is knocking on the door. Anyways, now I'm just rambling at the end of the video. I've never done this before, so hope you guys have a good rest of your day and week and month or whatever, and I'll see you soon.